Salutations from space and aloha from Earth, friends. This is Agent 1123 of your Cosmic Intelligence Agency, Gemini Brett. Looks like we're a go. A lot of this current thing is a test for a happening tomorrow, where I will be interviewing the great Ariel Gutman about this, the astrocartography book of maps, and asking her to teach me how to speak English. So there's Ariel and Jim Lewis, astrocartography book of maps, and just kind of the beginning of the astrocartography scene, and also local space, the geodetic map. Like, I'm very interested in speaking with Ariel about what was happening in astrology when this astrolocality craze kind of first came our way. This is a wonderful book if you can find it. It's been out of print for a long time, but it's just tons of chart and map examples of people and places. And so, but as long as we're here doing this test, I mean, I think it looks good. So that's good news. But well, let's dig into a map together. So I hope everyone's well. Obviously, wild times, right? And it's been a charged year. Of course, we were all saying this is what it would be. In many ways, I think there are many things we saw and didn't say. We were hoping not to be right, but here you go. And strong in January, strong in March, strong in June, and this is maybe the strongest astrology of the year that's really heating up right now. So I hope everyone's doing okay. It's a lot of tension in the air. And Venus today, at least according to the Shamanic Astrology Mystery School tradition, that's the school where I got my start, or really started my formal study. When Moon and Venus aligned today, this was a moment announcing the descent of Inanna, of Venus, through the Heart Chakra gate, in a time where we are inspired to release the clutter of that which would keep us from knowing love. So this is about less than an hour ago. And this is a map only showing, well, the equator, the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, and the ecliptic, but also the astrocartography lines, a few of them for Venus and the moon, and for the sun. So this is the sunset becoming the sun rising line. And the way the ACG map works is that if you are west of an ACG line, the planet is angular. So here in Central Africa and Central Europe, the sun is in the first house, which means hasn't risen yet, right? Whereas if we're east of these Venus and moon rising lines, then they are in the cadent house, in this case, the 12th house. So any place where you've got moon and Venus in the 12th house and the sun in the first house, that means it's just before sunrise, and we can see this amazing beauty of moon and Venus together. And so folks, like right now in London and Central Europe are getting a treat of something that looks something like this, but a lot tighter. So this is a photo that I took this morning, a little backyard photography. This was 5:18 a.m. And this is obviously the moon, who is more of a slender crescent than what you see here. That's just the camera getting blown out by her light. This is Venus, morning star, so bright right now. And then this is the royal star that's said to rule them all, Regulus, the heart of the lion. And so it was cool to get out there this morning and see them aligned in this pyramid shape. In our day and age, and this is true since August 13th, 2012, Regulus, the heart of the lion, now shines from the first degree of tropical Virgo. So you won't see Regulus on this chart, but it's the first degree of Virgo, and then here was Moon at 4.5 and Venus at 12.5, and that's what that looked like. Zoomed out a little bit here now. I mean, truly backyard astronomy. This is the roof of our house and the neighbor's land with a tree on it here. But it's Regulus, the heart of the lion. And the lion is this kind of trapezoid shape that goes off the frame, actually, in the head of the lion here. And Venus just kind of starting to cruise down below the lion. The ecliptic, the path of the planets is like this. Actually, let's open up Stellarium astronomy software and have a peek at this moment now. And maybe we'll head over to, I think London's probably a good place to take a peek right now. Right, so in London, it looks a little bit like this in this moment, if the clouds allow. And see, much closer than I captured them here in California, 14 hours ago or something, 13 hours ago, where Moon and Venus were not yet aligned. And, I mean, still not all conjunctions are created equally, right? You can see that while these are exactly aligned on the chart, the Moon is just past Venus by in the zodiac. They don't have the same latitude. So in the Northern Hemisphere's point of view, the Moon is passed over Venus because this is the Moon's general course right now. This is the north lunar node where the Moon's path crosses the Sun's path moving north. And Venus also has northern latitude right now, but not nearly as much as Moon. So anyway, hopefully people are out drinking some of this Moon-Venus conjunction in London town right now. So it's a really beautiful thing, regardless of where you are, to wake up before the sun and get out there. I can't capture it all in the same frame, but just in my periphery I can, with Moon in the east rising and then Mars over in the southwestern sky, moving towards setting. The south here in the northern hemisphere from this eastern Moon-Venus conjunction. There's Orion. Sirius, the brightest star in our sky here, blazing through the trees. This is the Hyades, the face of the bull, and the Pleiades, which sit on the bull's back, the Subaru, the seven sisters. It's another image a little clearer in focus, the Orion Nebula, from perhaps which our sun comes. Looking now underneath the Pleiades, this is Mars, who this photo is just definitely not doing Mars justice, nor is this one. Here's Mars. This is a plane down here kind of coming through the California smoke right now. Mars is just so amazingly bright red. I hope you're getting out there and seeing Mars. When Mars is having solar opposition like this, right? Sun opposite Mars, which is happening at the same time as this chakra gate. I'll get back to what that means. This is when Mars and Earth are closest to one another. So very bright and big Mars. And a solar opposition to Mars, this happens only about every 24 to 26 months. So make sure to get out there and dig Mars. It's so bright retrograde now in Aries. And I mean, we just see this power here, right? I mean, Sun in Libra, opposite Mars in Eris, retrograde in Aries, with the whole Capricorn Council. That's been the theme of our year here at the T-square in Capricorn. Mercury now today having stationed retrograde, maybe giving us an opportunity to look back on some of what we've been feeling this year, and Mercury doing so opposite Uranus and Taurus. I mean, it is just charged astrology right now. I don't know what else to say about it when we're really feeling this stuff. I love that Mercury's at Juno. We just want to bring it into relating balance. We are in the Libra season. You know, Moon is going to find her way from Venus here and catch up to Sun pretty soon in the theater called You for our Libra New Moon of the year, where I think this is even stronger. And then a couple weeks later when the Moon or a few gets over here to Cancer, and we'll just have this full-on Grand Cross in the cardinal signs. It is really alive right now. So actually, before I dive into the Venus content, let's have a look at this Libra New Moon chart, right? So where I am in Richmond, California, Pacific time, 12:31 p.m., 24 degrees Libra, right? And that is the great star Spica or Spica, the shaft of wheat that the priestess of the heavens holds. Let's go take a look at that in the stellarium, actually. Come back here to California at that time will actually be a decent time to look. So we'll do that. And then what do we have? October 16th at 12:31 p.m. I don't know if y'all know Stellarium astronomy software. It's wonderful. It's also free. All right, so there we go. Definitely not an eclipse, right? I mean, this is the very important teachings of the nodes at the circle of silver, the moon's course, and the circle of gold, the sun's course, or the ecliptic, the zodiac. They are not coincident, right? So they cross in two places called the lunar nodes. This is the south node here, very close to galactic center at this time, late degrees, tropical Sagittarius. Very powerful place in space. And so is this place. I mean, particularly this star, Spica or Spica or Chitra, has many names and many tongues. The shaft of the wheat that the priestess holds in our day and age, 24 degrees tropical Libra. So you can see that this is where Moon and Sun are aligning. Of course, we won't see that, right? It's going to look a lot more like this. But it's a very powerful star. That's actually the star to which the sidereal zodiac used, you know, by Jyotish, or which you may know as Vedic astrologers in India and in other places. Like this is the star by which most sidereal zodiacs are calibrated. That's the first degree of Libra in the sidereal zodiac. And 24 degrees tropical Libra in our day and age in the tropical zodiac. And so, you know, getting to know these powerful stars, these Bohemian stars, these are Mercury's magical stars, right? And good things to do, because we can see a chart like this and it's like, wow, not only is this a Libra new moon opposite Mars, right? Who together in this mystic rectangle with the nodes, that's pretty amazing, but opposite Mars and square the Capricorn Council that's been going down, right? But they're at this very powerful star, Spica. So I think that's one thing to look out for. And we're kind of building there, right? This Libra new moon, we're in Libra month here for weeks, and really coming into relating and looking for harmony and balance. And of course, at this time where I live, where just politics are going nuts with a presidential election coming up on November 3rd, it's really important for us every day, always, and especially right now, to have some compassion, to have some love, right? To open our eyes, I'll say, to the many ways. And one of the reasons why, you know, I can say this is astrologically derived is because Venus is currently dancing to the tunes of a Gemini intention. So Ariel Gutman, who I'll be speaking with tomorrow about the astrocartography book of maps, please don't miss that. It will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday, October 14th. which I believe is 11 a.m. on Thursday, October 15th in Melbourne, where our Cosmic Intelligence Agency is headquartered. I think we're all getting really good at doing our own time conversions now, right? But Ariel Gutman and I and Julia CMS control of the Cosmic Agency, Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Gainsberg's joined us for a few of them. We've been doing these Venus synodic cycle transmissions regularly. So we got together shortly before this happening of retrograde Venus conjoined Sun in the sign of Gemini, the Gemini star point, and that began in the shamanic astrology approach a 19-month cycle, and Ariel's approach or Julia's approach about a 9-month cycle of Venus tuning into Gemini intentions, which is lightness, play, of a flirtatious way. But there's a lot, especially with this really strong square of the Venus star point to Mars and Pisces. Yeah, where we're going to face this watery way. Look at the grand water trine at the time, right? Scorpio moon, that Pisces, Mars, Neptune, and Mercury in the sign of Cancer. But in the Gemini Pisces square, a lot of challenge around, truth and belief, or thinking and belief, and how do we communicate all this, and how do we stay light and kind of playful in that mix. And I just love the Mercury Uranus sextile at the time. And as we see what's happened since that time of June 3rd, 2020, Venus has since then stationed direct. Venus travels retrograde for about 40 days and 40 nights in this interior conjunction, retrograde Venus Sun conjunctions, halfway through that initiation. And Venus stationed direct on June 24th here in the earlier degrees of Gemini with a Leo moon, reminding us that, as Caroline Casey likes to say, peace is not the opposite of war. Play is the opposite of war. I think it's a really important energy and important reminder right now. So in the Shamanic Astrology Mystery School, what happens is that after Venus stations direct, now in this Gemini cycle, every time the moon comes around to meet Venus in the morning sky, these are timings around Venus, Inanna is what she was called in Sumeria, descending through the 7 gates on her way into the underworld, the darkness that exists somewhere beyond the sun where we can never see Venus. She disappears for 60 to 100 days, depending on the cycle and where you're trying to look from, as she astronomically moves behind the sun from Earth's point of view. Yeah, and on the way is morning star Venus just quickly beams up to her morning brightness, and then she slowly descends, and every month the moon comes to conjoin her. In the Shamanic Astrology Mystery School work, we look at these moon-Venus conjunctions as starting about a month's time of clearing the clutter from the chakras. So this Moon-Venus conjunction here in July would have been clearing the crown. What's keeping me from connecting to the divine? And that for a month. And then the next Moon-Venus conjunction here in Cancer, very interestingly, where Mercury was at the time of the Venus-Sun conjunction to begin the cycle, this is clearing the clutter around third eye and perception. And that for a month. And then we're just now ending the month that began with this Leo conjunction on September 13th, 2020. It's trine to Chiron, and it's many things. It's very strong square to Uranus. Mercury beautifully on the sextile and on the trine to the star point. This was the throat chakra gate. So clearing the clutter around what's keeping us from speaking truth. And that means hearing truth too. And, sometimes that can cause as much distance and discord as it can harmony, right? We need to find harmony within. Suppressing our truth, suppressing our thought will never do. That's not how we find peace. That's not how we find balance. So doing some of the sacred work around bringing our radiant flame, our light out by simply choosing to speak our truth, no matter what challenges and kind of electric shakeups that might cause. And that's been a theme in this regard for the last month. And now just today, we step into the Heart Chakra gate. So this is October 13th, 2020, was 14th for some of y'all. Just about an hour ago as I'm recording now, it's 9 p.m. local time where I am. And I mean, I love the trines here to the Capricorn crew. The moon at this time would now translate the light of Venus to Jupiter. Mercury just stationing retrograde. So we're going to get to look back at a bunch of this, and that Mercury Uranus, Mercury trining where Mercury was at the time of the Venus star point, Mercury in a grand water trine conjoining the Scorpio moon that was around during the Venus star point, and where Pisces Mars was at the time. Yeah. So we really want to let the waterway run game, and not talk about or think about our feelings, but just feel about our feelings. And it's been a really hard year. There's a lot of loss, a lot of change, a lot of fear, a lot of question marks about what's to come still. Yeah. This is the last retrograde Mercury cycle in a water sign. It's the 6th of 6, and the next Mercury retrograde cycle will be in the air sign of Aquarius. Mercury has a meta retrograde thing where he moves slowly through the elements, and we've been doing water. Yeah. And so the water, the feelings, just letting the heart be. So I think Moon Venus here stimulating this Gemini gate. You can see how strong that square is, because while Gemini is willing to learn these things and these techniques and do it in mind, Virgo's got to do this in practice. And let's get meticulous about this. How in our daily can we open up space for more feelings consciousness, for more of that feeling function and that empathy? Yeah, and that compassion, which really has to start here. If we want to be able to feel other feelings, we have to allow ourselves to feel our own. So we want a revolution of allowing our dams to break open, letting the waters flood. Yeah. And practicing, grounded ways of staying the course through all of that. So we all have scar tissue built up on our hearts from over time. Maybe you've done all the work you need to clear it all. I've got some space to go. I think that it's a really lovely thing to see that this heart chakra gate is allowing us to open up and make more space for love and compassion. I mean, not just allowing us, insisting that we do that as we come now into this time of Libra New Moon, which follows on the heels of this October 13th Venus Heart Chakra gate. Now just October 16th, this Libra New Moon at Spica, the shaft of wheat that the priestess holds, looking for balance, looking for harmony. Yeah. And that's a tricky thing to do in opposition to a retrograde Aries Mars and Eris on the T-square to the Capricorn crew. We're all, feeling the weight of all of these damn rules and being stuck in place. And, this fire cat wants to rage and do his thing. So in all of the tension that shows its face in the days to come, may we choose in this gate of compassion to release the clutter that stands in the way of love. May we understand that the challenges that arise are here as trainings. May we welcome that curriculum to help shine some light, not on how others are blocked, but on how we are. Yeah. So this is a time where we're going to see a lot of divide and conquer on hyperdrive. So what if we just choose to love instead? Wouldn't that be the way to the true heart of royalty? All right. Well, thanks for playing with me for some time here on a random live as a test to hang out for a broadcast tomorrow, where I will be hanging out some with my friend Ariel Gutman, who has done a lot of work around the Venus cycle, of course. Her great books, Venus Star Point, one of them, right? And this is another book that you may or may not know about that Ariel wrote with Jim Lewis, right? Who brought astrocartography, this really wonderful astrolocality technique, through the dawning age of like computer programming, right at the turn of when that was happening. So again, I'm really excited to hear from Ariel, you know, when first she got turned on to astrolocality. She's done a lot of astrolocality work, so I'm excited to hear share on personal levels how our astro maps have been so true, and just it's amazing. I'm sure a lot of you have tuned into that, how wild that thing is, and to also hear maybe some of like some cool stories from her practice of her many years as an astrocartographer. So I hope you'll join us. It's in 21 hours from now, about 6 p.m. Pacific time, Wednesday, miércoles, Mercury's Day, October 14th, 2020. That's 11 a.m. on Thursday, Jupiter's Day, October 15th in Melbourne, Australia, the headquarters of our Cosmic Intelligence Agency. It's been a while. I'm glad to be here at the CIA page again, saying, hey, and send in love, and let's crack this thing open and let the waters flow, friends. See you in space, and I hope to see you tomorrow.